Hello, students and parents. Good afternoon and namaste from KIC Nepal. We hope that you all are well, safe in this global pandemic situation of COVID-19. Myself, Shyam Prasad Dahal, Director of Operations of KIC Nepal. We are located in different locations in Nepal, such as Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Kalanki, Pokhara, Butol, Chitwan, Birgans, Biratnagar, Itahari, and Birtamor. Once again, I would like to welcome you to our virtual information session today. We are conducting such a virtual information session to provide maximum information about study abroad and one complete information about one particular college or university in one session. But today, we have the delegate from the EduCo who will be talking about 4 high-ranked universities of Ireland. Also, I would like to welcome our Europe coordinator, Mr. Ravi Dahal, in this session today. Welcome, Mr. Ravi.
Thank you, Shyam sir.
Dear students, today in this live session, we will be talking about study in Ireland, as there are many Nepalese students who are interested to study in Ireland. Geographically, Ireland is divided between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom. But today, now we are talking about the study in the Republic of Ireland. As you know that there are many universities in Ireland providing a globally recognized qualification. We also understand that it is very hard to choose one university from the list of the many universities offering the same program. So today we have decided to talk about 4 Irish universities, which are Dublin City University, Technological University Dublin, Maynooth University, and Institute of Technology, Sligo University of Ireland. Today, to talk about 4 universities, we have 2 very special guests from EduCo. EduCo is a global community of recruitment with a network of 16 universities in the USA, Australia, Canada, and Ireland. They have assisted international students from over 120 countries to attend their institutions in Australia, Canada, Ireland, and the United States. And graduates with the skill needed to be successful in today's increasingly competitive marketplace. And with the delegate from the university, we will be discussing the university programs, scholarship, intakes, intro requirements, and many other factors. I know many of you have questions about the study in Ireland, its process, entry requirements, and future career exit outcome after studying in Ireland. So you can mention your questions in the comment section below. In the second stage of the session, we will answer those questions. So I would like to request you to start asking questions now in the comment section below. We are live from Facebook and our YouTube channel. Without doing any delay, let me introduce our guest today. So we have Mr. Jacob, who is Senior Vice President Ireland for EduCo. Welcome, Mr. Jacob, in our virtual information session today.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm delighted to be with you.
Thank you so much for your time today. Now, we also have Pragya Shah, Regional Manager, Nepal, Bhutan for EduCo. Welcome, Pragya, ma'am.
Thank you, Sham. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you so much, both of you, for your time today. First, I would like to ask Jacob about the COVID-19 situation over there in Ireland and at the moment, and further steps taken by the Ireland government to welcome international students in the future.
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's the question that is on everybody's minds right now, isn't it? We are in a global pandemic, and it's affecting all of us around the world. Now, God willing, right now, Ireland's situation is looking pretty good and pretty positive compared with other places around the world. So let me just tell you a little bit about what happened. In Ireland, the Irish government responded pretty quickly in early March to take steps to contain the virus. So acting quite early to take important steps. By the middle of March, we had closed all non-essential businesses, we had stopped all public gatherings, and in fact, by the 16th of March, schools and colleges had closed, pubs and restaurants had closed, and we were advised to stay home as much as possible. Now, because of that swift action that the Irish government took, actually, we didn't have to have the most extreme forms of restriction that some other countries around the world have seen. So we never had a curfew in Ireland, for example. But more importantly, because of that swift action, we have actually come out of the worst of the crisis much sooner even than the Irish government thought. So we have started to reopen the economy now. Most of the economy is expected to be reopened by the end of this month or early August. So, for example, schools and colleges will be opened at the beginning of August. Now, that is the summer holidays for students here in Ireland, but staff who have been working from home will be returning to their offices on campus at the universities from the beginning of August. And that means that students will be welcomed back to campus in the new term in September, in the fall or the autumn semester. So the message from Ireland actually is that we're open and welcoming international students for the autumn. So around the world, visa offices are open for Ireland. You can apply for a visa to come to Ireland right now, and you can apply to come to study in Ireland starting this fall, this autumn. So you know the situation is getting under control. You know, it is a strange and uncertain times around the world, but Ireland does seem to be dealing with this global crisis well, and it does look like we are on the right trajectory to beat the virus in Ireland. And certainly what the Irish government is saying is, look, international students are really, really important for Ireland, for the country, for the economy, for society. And so we want you to come to the country. And so we're going to give you a visa and we're going to let you come here for the new semester.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jacob, for COVID-19 situation update from Ireland, which was very helpful. And I hope that all of the students, they are now clear about the COVID-19 situation in Ireland. Now, I'd like to request both of you to start the session for today. Over to you, Jacob and Pragya now.
That's great. Thanks. Look, I'm going to start with a couple of things, but first of all, can you just give my can you let my other screen enter the meeting room here, and I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it from my screen here.
Sure, you can share your screen.
Yeah. Can you admit Jacob 2 into the meeting room? So I'm on. Yeah, we go. Perfect. Thank you. So let me start to share my screen now. Look, I wanted to start here. Okay. Yeah. Let me just see. Yeah, I think it's just coming on the screen here. Yeah, I wanted to start here by showing you this information here. This is just a summary of why I think Ireland is a really interesting study destination for students from Nepal right now. And the way that I think about it is this idea of return on investment. Now, anybody who studied business will know that return on investment is an equation. It's about what you put in and what you get out. And if you think about Ireland as an international study destination, and if you compare Ireland with other study destinations around the world, I think you will agree that that equation works really well for Ireland. So let me just talk about what that equation is made up of. It is it's made up of what you put in. The cost of studying in Ireland is relatively affordable. You can study for as little as 9,000 euros per year in Ireland, and you can complete a master's in just 1 year. So a bachelor's degree is 3 or 4 years, a master's degree is 1 year, and at our cheapest partners in Ireland, you can study for as little as 9,000 euros per year. Living costs are similarly pretty affordable. In Dublin, the capital city, you can live in Dublin for about 10,000 euros per year. That's what the government advises when you apply for a visa, to have at least 10,000 euros to show that you can support yourself in Ireland. So that's your accommodation, your food, your travel, living in Dublin. Again, though, at our cheaper partners in Ireland, so IT Sligo, one of our partners, you can live in Sligo for 6,000 or 7,000 euros a year. So about a third cheaper than living in Dublin. In addition to all of this, you can earn while you learn. So you can work during your studies in Ireland. So you can work for 20 hours a week in the semester during term time and 40 hours a week in the holiday. The holidays are actually for a third of the year, 1 month at Christmas, and then 3 months in the summer, June, July, August. So for all of that time, you can work full time. And actually the minimum wage in Ireland has just gone up. It is above 10 euros per hour. That's the minimum wage required by law to pay workers in Ireland. So tuition fee is relatively affordable. Living costs are relatively affordable, plus you can earn while you learn, so to bring down that cost further. That's what you put in. What you then get out is really high quality. So in Ireland, the quality of the education is really, really high. All of the universities in Ireland are in the top 5% of universities worldwide. Many of them include internships or work placements in the programs that they deliver. So really focused on helping students get the kind of practical experience they need to get a job when they graduate. And this is a really important feature of Ireland. When you graduate, you automatically qualify for a post-study work visa. As a bachelor's graduate, you get a 1-year post-study work visa. But as a master's graduate, you get a 2-year post-study work visa. So think about that return on investment. What you put in for a master's degree is 1 year of study. What you get out is a 2-year post-study work visa. So really great return on investment there. And what you are graduating into is an economy that really needs high-skilled workers. I'm going to show you some statistics about this in a minute. But Ireland is a country that needs highly skilled graduates to graduate from Irish universities and come into the workforce. You can, after your post-study work visa, get a work permit to stay in Ireland. You can get a work permit for up to 5 years. And at the end of that time, you may qualify for permanent residency. So there is, in fact, it's quite a long road, but it is possible to stay in Ireland for those people that are interested in doing that. Let me show you. Let me show you this. In fact, before I come on to tell you about the economy, which is a really important feature of Ireland, let me show you this map, because you saw a bit of a map in the video that we started with. But I just want everybody to be sure you know where Ireland is. As Sham said in the introduction, this is Ireland here, right next to the United Kingdom. And look at how close Ireland is to the UK, but also to some of the other magnificent capitals and cities of Europe. You can get from Dublin, the capital city of Ireland, to London in 40 minutes on a flight. And there's a large number of low-cost airlines across Europe that make it pretty affordable to travel by air. You can get to France, to Spain, to Germany from Dublin. It's really well connected. And as Sham said, the Ireland is an independent country. So the northernmost part of the island of Ireland is connected to the UK, is a part of the United Kingdom. But the southern part of the island of Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, is an independent country. And why is that really important right now? It's really important because the UK and Ireland are taking two quite different approaches right now on a number of things. You'll know that the UK decided to leave the European Union with Brexit. Ireland is now the only English-speaking country left in the European Union. And it has taken quite a different approach to coronavirus in Ireland. And as I say, one that has been very effective here in the country. And it also is taking an approach that is really welcoming to international students. It is saying, Ireland is saying, we want international students in the country. Now, let me come on to talk about the economy now to explain why that is. Ireland is a small country. It's just, yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Jacob, I think your voice is breaking. Ravi, can you check once whether it's my voice is breaking, or we have like I think Jacob, yeah, you can continue. You can continue.
Shamsa, I can hear him clearly.
Oh, okay, then. Okay, yeah, you can continue, Jacob. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Sure. So let me just share this. Yeah, I was talking about the fact that Ireland really wants international students to come into the country. And why is that? It's because it's a small country, just 4.7 million people, but it has a very fast growing economy. So look at some of these numbers for last year. Last year, Ireland had 4.4% unemployment. This is what economists call full employment. Everybody who wants a job can get a job. And you can see that with some of the graduate salary numbers. The average bachelor's graduate salary, the average was 29,600 euros last year. And the average master's graduate salary was 40,000 euros a year. So these are the averages. People going on to people taking degrees in computer science or engineering were earning far higher salaries than these. But these are the average of all graduates. Bachelor's graduates just under 30,000 euros a year. Master's graduates over 40,000 euros a year. Really, really high salaries being paid because the economy was humming along so fast, and because highly skilled graduates were really in demand. and look at some of the industries where those graduates were really in demand. So Ireland, and Dublin in particular, is known as Europe's Silicon Valley. All of the big US technology firms that you will know, Google, Facebook, all of them listed there, Apple, they have their European headquarters, not in London, not in Paris, not in Frankfurt, but in Dublin. So they are all based in Ireland, but not just the technology companies. Ireland is really strong in biopharmaceuticals. It has a really strong research and development sector in biopharma. It has a very strong medical device sector. It's very strong in diagnostics. So healthcare and the healthcare industry is a really strong sector in Ireland. And actually, let me just pause on that, because those sectors that I have just listed, it will not be lost on you that those sectors are sectors that the world right now really needs. So you have seen how strong the technology companies are doing around the world as, a global health crisis turns into an economic crisis. There are some winners and there are some losers in that economic crisis around the world. Some of the winners are the big technology companies, the medical companies, and a lot of them are based in Ireland. And that is why, and I think I'm just trying to share my screen now so that you can see how some of these headlines. Yeah, here we go, coming onto the screen now. That is why a lot of people are looking at the Irish economy and saying that it is particularly resilient right now during this global coronavirus crisis. So the OECD had a report out a month or two ago saying that Ireland would be the most resilient country in all of Europe. Take a look at some of these headlines here on the screen, and then just a reminder. Have a look at some of the companies that base themselves here. 16 of the top 20 software companies in the world, 9 of the top 10 ICT, technology companies, 20 of the top 25 financial services companies. Ireland is a really modern, innovative economy, and one that feels like it can be quite resilient right now during this global crisis. All right, I wanted to tell you about our partner universities in Ireland. So let me just show you this. We work with 4 institutions in Ireland, as Sham said. We work with 3 institutions in Dublin itself, the capital city. They are Dublin City University and Maynooth University, and also the Technological University of Dublin. Maynooth University is just on the outskirts of Dublin city centre. It is it's just 25 kilometers west of the city centre, in a kind of university town or university or suburb just on the outskirts of Dublin. Dublin City University and the Technological University of Dublin are in the heart of Dublin. And the Institute of Technology Sligo is our partner outside of Dublin. It's over there on the west coast of Ireland. And Sligo is the one that I told you is cheaper to study there. It's cheaper to live in Sligo. It also has a little bit more flexible entry criteria. Dublin City University and Maynooth University are elite institutions. Dublin City University is actually ranked #1 in Ireland for graduate employment outcomes, and number 19 in the world. Number 19 in the world for graduate employment outcomes. It's a very, very strong university. Maynooth University and DCU are both often in the top 50 universities under 50 years old rankings in the Times or the QS rankings. So very, elite universities, pretty difficult to get into, certainly to go directly into those institutions. And then the Technological University of Dublin can be a little bit more flexible to get into. Another very big university in Dublin, over 150 programs that you can choose from TU Dublin. What I did want to tell you about specifically was some entry criteria, and I wanted to take DCU as an example of the entry criteria to come into Ireland, because as I said, those elite institutions, DCU, Maynooth, to some extent TU Dublin, they can be difficult to get into. However, at Dublin City University, we do have an option for students from Nepal that don't achieve those very highest grades to go directly into those universities. And that option is the Dublin City University International Foundation Program. And it is open to students from Nepal. Applications are open right now still for the fall semester, so you can apply now. You'll get a very quick offer letter, and the offer letter that you'll get will be an offer for the foundation program, and it's a package. You'll also get your offer for the destination degree, the degree that you want to go on to take at DCU, either a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. Now, Dublin City University works in a partnership with its partner institution called the Institute of Technology, Carlow. So you will also have the option of going to IT Carlow. You have a backup option whenever you join the foundation program at Dublin City University. Here's what the foundation program looks like. So as I said, you're guaranteed to progress to DCU or DCU's partner, IT Carlow, with your conditional offer. As long as you pass your foundation program exams, you're guaranteed to progress. There's no extra IELTS test. There's no extra external examination. It's a package. So you get your foundation and your destination degree offers together. Now, I have to tell you that over the last 2 years, 100% of students passed their foundation program exams and were eligible to progress to DCU. So this is not a foundation program designed to catch people out, designed to stop you from progressing. It's actually designed to help you get into this very elite institution, Dublin City University, which, as I say, #1 in Ireland for graduate employment outcomes. It's not just designed to get you into that university. It's designed to make sure that when you're in your destination degree, you score the highest grades possible. DCU did some analysis last year, which showed that international students who join a degree via the foundation program, the undergraduate or the pre-master's program, actually do better, score higher than students who go directly into that degree. So this foundation program really prepares you for success in your degree. That's because it has small class sizes, you get a lot of individual attention from your professors. Now, you're taught on campus, so it is part of DCU University. You have access to all of the DCU facilities. You are a registered member of Dublin City University. So it's a program delivered by DCU. Let me just run through quickly what this looks like. This is the pre-bachelor's package. So if you are in Nepal, if you're in high school in Nepal and you want to come and do a bachelor's degree at Dublin City University, in your first year, you'll do either 1 or 2 semesters of foundation program. Then you'll go on to a 3 or a 4-year bachelor's degree at DCU. And you can choose from a wide range of programs, including some of the really popular programs at DCU, like computer science, engineering, business, science, and maths. And then you graduate with that post-study work visa that I told you about, that 1-year post-study work visa for a bachelor's graduate. Here's what the master's package looks like. First year, again, 1 or 2 semesters. Second year is your 1-year master's. And you can choose from, some of the most popular programs in Ireland, in fact, in Europe or even the world right now. MSc Computer Science at Dublin City University, incredibly popular, very oversubscribed. Last year, the program closed early because so many students were applying, and the minimum standard required to get into that program was not enough. You had to have far higher scores to get into an MSc computer science program. To go directly into that program. But from the foundation program, you're guaranteed to progress as long as you pass those pre-master's exams. And then, of course, you graduate with that 2-year post-study work visa. And let me show you the entry criteria here. So this is what I was talking about Dublin City University being pretty tough to get into and a pretty elite institution. From Nepal, you can only join the bachelor's program if you have an international qualification, the IB diploma or A levels. You also need an IELTS score of 6.5. But take a look at a 2-semester international foundation program. There you can join from your Nepal high school with a senior leaving certificate, an SLC with a score of 70%, or your higher secondary certificate with 50%. Now, if you've got your highest secondary certificate with 75%, you can join the 1-semester foundation program at DCU. Have a look at the IELTS scores as well. To join that 2-semester IELTS, 2-semester international foundation program, you just need an IELTS score of 5.0. And then let me show you the master's entry criteria here. So to go directly into a master's degree from Nepal, you need to have a very high score. You need to have done a master's degree from Nepal, and it needs to have been from select universities in order to go directly into a master's degree at DCU. But via the foundation program, you can join from your 4-year bachelor's or your 2-year bachelor's with your 2-year master's. And you can see the scores required there, just a 60% to join the 2-semester IFP, which will then lead into your master's degree at DCU, that 1-year master's, and then qualify you for those 2 years of post-study work visa when you're done. The IELTS requirement is similarly lower for the foundation program at the pre-master's level, just a 5.5 IELTS to join the 2-semester foundation program. So I just wanted to give you that that background on the pre-master's program and the international foundation, the pre-bachelor's program at DCU, because I think it gives you an idea of the scores required to get directly into some Irish universities, and some of the options available to you for students from Nepal. Okay, let me just tell you one more thing before pausing and seeing if there's any questions or anything that Pragya would like to add to what I've been saying. So what is the autumn term going to look like for students coming into Ireland? The first thing to say, and I said already at the start of this presentation, Ireland is open and welcoming international students to come and start in the fall or the autumn semester. So you can now apply for a visa. You can get your visa to come in the autumn term. For most of our partners in Ireland, what the autumn term is going to look like is a hybrid or a blended kind of learning. So you can come to Ireland, you can come to the campuses. The campuses will be open for students by the autumn, but you won't have lectures in a lecture hall, with 100, 150 other students with your professor at the front of the room. That is not going to happen in Ireland. And in all honesty, I don't think it's going to happen anywhere around the world for the autumn term. We are going to see social distancing happening around the world, I think, and certainly in Ireland. So your lectures will be recorded. You'll be able to watch them online on the virtual learning environment that all of our partners have. So that will be online, but you will be able to come to campus, to meet with your friends and your teachers on campus, There will be some restrictions on campus. So things like the library are likely to have restricted access. Maybe certain students on certain days will be allowed to use the library, or a limit placed on the number of students that can enter the library at any one time. So there will be restrictions like that on campus. But increasingly through that first semester, the autumn or the fall semester, you will see that you will start having some small group discussions, some seminar discussions. You may have to be socially distant when that happens. And at each of our partners, priority is being given to programs that require some kind of lab work or equipment. If you require that, those programs will be prioritized for putting on on-campus classes. So you can see it's a mix of online and offline, but students can come to Ireland for the autumn semester. Final thing to say, at our partner Dublin City University, it is possible to start your first semester and to stay in Nepal to study it. So you can do the entire first semester online for Dublin City University. So the pre-masters program, the foundation program that I told you about, you can stay in Nepal to do the first semester and then come to Ireland for the second semester, and then progress to your main degree as normal. All of your visa requirements remain the same in that circumstance. You still are eligible for the post-study work visa, but it is an option for those students that might prefer to stay in Nepal. Okay, I've talked quite a lot. Pragya, is there anything that I've missed or anything that you'd like to add to what I've been saying?
Jacob, I think students would be interested to know if the gap that they are having right now will affect in terms of visas or admission requirement. Like, will they be getting offers if there's a lot of gap? That's the main question that I'm getting from students as well. So if you could clarify on that one, because as far as I know, I don't think there should be an issue. But if you could clarify on your side, I think that they will be more content if you can explain that.
Yeah. So you mean the gap between your bachelor's degree and choosing to do a master's degree, or the gap between your finishing high school and coming to Ireland to do a bachelor's, or because of
because there are
COVID
students
right
who have yeah, but they're not able to do their IELTS, or they still need to prepare their financials and things like that, because of which it will take a bit longer for them to process
so I think
everything.
there's a few things to say. So so the Irish universities right now are trying to be as flexible as possible, given the global situation that we're in. So many students who haven't been able to access their final transcripts, their attested transcripts, the advice is still apply. You'll get a conditional offer. You may even be able to get a full offer without some of your final marks in your final modules, for example. So apply now, because there may be some flexibility. That the universities are trying their best to be as flexible as possible. Of course, if you don't have any high school, any results at all, for example, you're applying for a bachelor's degree and you don't have any high school results yet, that's really difficult for the university to give you an offer. They may be able to give you a conditional offer, and you can turn that into a full offer when you get your results. Now, in terms of applying for future intakes, maybe you don't have those results right now and you're thinking about applying for the future. I think the universities will be really understanding of people who have graduated from their bachelor's degree this year, or from high school this year, and want to apply next year for to come to Ireland. I think they'll be really understanding of that. And in general, the gap, a gap is not the end of the world when you're applying for Ireland. There's no upper age limit, for example, on applying to come to study in Ireland. Mature students are accepted. I would probably advise not to, I'd probably say students much older than 30 who finished their bachelor's degree some years ago may have a bit more of an issue getting a visa, so to be careful about that. But what I always say is when you apply for Ireland, the most important thing is to write a really strong personal statement. It is okay if you finished your high school a few years ago, you've started working, and now you realize that you want a bachelor's degree, or you've done a bachelor's degree a few years ago, you've been saving money and working, you now realize that in order to further your career, you need a master's degree in a particular subject. That is fine. That is not a problem for applying for Ireland. But make sure you explain that in your personal statement. Make sure you write a really strong personal statement when you apply to the university, explaining why you want to come, why you want to study that program, and also submit that personal statement when you apply for a visa, because it's just as important that the visa officer sees that and sees that you are understands your journey and why it is that you want to come to study in Ireland.
Jacob, thank you so much. Also, I'd like to request Pragya ma'am, if you would like to add something about like the visa requirements, and particularly for Nepalese students, if you would like to add about the visa process and the financial documentation process for Ireland, if you would like to add something.
Yeah, so financial part, especially for Ireland, we're very strict on financial. It has to be up to the mark. As long as you have your offer letter with the university, the only thing that will affect your visa is your finances. So please make sure that you have a correct amount of bank statement, minimum 3 months statement, and you need to have show your like if you're doing your bachelor's, you need to show that you're able to support for 4 years of your bachelor's. If you're going with foundation program, then 5 years of bachelor's. Similarly, if you're doing master's, you need to show for at least 1 year if you're direct entry, or at least 2 years if you're going through foundation program. So you need to show that you are able to finance yourself for your whole period of a program. And you need to also show you're able to not only your education but your living cost as well, which is around 10,000 euros per year. So you need to add that amount as well. Please consider that amount also when you're showing your bank statement. So
yeah, that's right.
As
so,
long as you have shown that and you show that. Yeah, go ahead.
Go on.
So, add something.
Thanks, Pragya. Yeah, I was just going to add to that. So I'll put something up on the screen when Jacob 2 is added back into the meeting. Yeah, here we go. Look, this is the summary of what you need to provide when you apply for your visa. So you'll apply from your visa from home in Nepal. There's 2 steps to the visa application. You complete an online form, then you download that form, you put it together with your physical documents, and those documents then need to be posted to Delhi where they are processed. The visa that you're applying for is a long-term category D visa, and the visa that you'll be granted is called a stamp 2 visa. So the stamp 2 visa is the visa that lets you work during your studies. What you need to show is the information on the screen. So you need your offer letter from the university, of course. You need to pay your fees for 1 year in advance. Now, most of our universities let you pay in 2 installments, and you only need to pay the first installment before you apply for a visa, with the balance before your second semester. So at Dublin City University, for example, you can pay just 60%. At TU Dublin or IT Sligo, just 50% before you apply for your visa, and then the balance is due in your second semester. You need to include your English language certificate. As I said, include your personal statement as well. You need medical insurance. Now there's no medical exam, there's no medical interview. It's just an online purchase. You can fill in an online form. It's about 150 euros per year for medical insurance. As Pragya said, all of those things are pretty straightforward. The thing to be really focused on is the evidence of finances. That's the bit that you need to prepare again before you leave home in Nepal and submit with your visa application. And it's made up of two parts. You do need to provide a lump sum, and that needs to be a minimum of 7,000 euros. We would always recommend the lump sum is at least 10,000 euros to cover your full living costs for a year, and even more if you have it. It can be deposited in an education bond or in a savings account, but you need to have that lump sum amount. And you also need 6 months of bank statements. So the 6 months of bank statements from you, if you're a master's student, or if you're having a sponsor, your sponsor also needs to include those. Those should show money coming into your account, money coming out of your account, and that is really, really important for all visa applications, but especially if you are applying for an undergraduate degree, which is a number of years, 3 or 4 years for an undergraduate degree, because there your lump sum will only show that you have enough for your first year. And so you need to show that you will have access to sufficient funds for the subsequent years of your study. So we can go into this in much more detail, and Pragya is pretty experienced with helping students apply for visas from Nepal to come into Ireland now. But the summary is on the screen, and the key bit in terms of financial requirements is 1, the lump sum, and 2, the 6 months of bank statements. Both of those need to be submitted as part of your visa application.
Oh, thank you so much, Jacob. And
Yes.
I think now we can move to the Q&A session. We will discuss about some questions over there, and if anything more to add, then we will add after that. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's great. So I'll stay on the line for the first 5 or 10 minutes of Q&A, and then I'll need to jump off the line. But I hope Pragya will be able to stay on a little bit longer after that. So
Sure,
yeah,
no
go ahead.
Okay, so thank you so much, Jacob and Pragya, ma'am, for the information. Now I'd like to start from the questions. One question that we have, how to apply for the Ireland. So just now, Jacob addressed this how to apply process. So you can apply for the Ireland visa. First you need to get the acceptance from the university. Then after you need to prepare the financial documents in order to apply for the visa. For that, we can support you. So you can consult with us. We can provide you the checklist, updated checklist for student visa process in Ireland. The next question that I have, I would like to study Bachelor of Nursing in Ireland. Could you please give me the option? Also, let me know the IELTS requirements to study Bachelor of Nursing. So could you please address this question?
Yeah, quick one. I'm afraid we don't have nursing programs at our partners in Ireland right now, I'm afraid.
Okay, so for that, if you would like to, is there any health-related program that you offer?
Yeah, there are lots of health-related programs. So, at Technological University of Dublin, over 150 programs you can choose from. At DCU, over 200. So there's a lot of programs to choose from. I think rather than responding to specific questions about specific programs right now, I think that probably makes sense for you to pick that up as a counseling team with individuals. And don't forget, everybody, to take a look at the university websites, where you can have a look at the programs that you're interested in. But so DCU, for example, has a range of science and health related programs. TU Dublin does as well. So although there isn't nursing, I'm afraid, and I know this is often a popular course from Nepal, you may be able to find some health related programs that interest you.
Okay, I would like to request Pramila to check website as well, and also we can support you for the related program if you can contact us. Next question I would like to take: what is the academic and IELTS requirements to pursue the master's degree course at your university? So the general academic and IELTS requirements. So Jacob or Pragya ma'am, you can address this question.
Yeah, I think what I might do, let's do this. Let me just summarize a couple of things, looking at the questions that have come in from the live comments. Then I'll drop off the line, and Pragya, I'll hand over to you to take some more of these specific ones. So I think just looking at the questions that have come in, yeah. So let me just group them into a few areas. So in terms of the English language requirements, most of our universities require a 6.5 IELTS to join directly an undergraduate or a postgraduate program. 6.0 may be acceptable for some programs. But don't forget, we have foundation programs as well. And I told you about that Dublin City University pre-masters or pre-undergrad program, which will accept you in with an IELTS of 5.0 for the undergrads or 5.5 for the masters. So that's where we are on English language. And yes, alternatives to IELTS are accepted. So those are the IELTS scores, IELTS or equivalent. So PTE is accepted, TOEFL is accepted. And right now for this intake, the Duolingo English language test is accepted. So you can submit a Duolingo test to be your English score. I wanted to pick up because a few people were asking about the foundation program because it provides such good entry into that highly competitive institution DCU and into some of the most competitive degrees that you can study in Ireland. So there the IELTS scores are lower, 5.5 for a master's degree or 5.0 for a bachelor's degree. The score that you need, your academic score, is lower as well, as I showed you earlier. And really important, a question here, really important to say the foundation degree, it's not just about providing entry to your destination degree. It does that, but what we've seen, the data that we've seen from DCU shows that students who complete the foundation program score better in their destination degree, either in their master's degree or at the end of year one of their undergraduate degree. They score higher than international students who went directly to that degree. So it is a fantastic foundation for students who are going on to study a degree and really want to make sure they score the highest grades possible to give them the best chance of getting a great job when they graduate at the other end. So that's a really important point to address here, and there were a few questions about it here. Yeah, and just a reminder that you know, why am I so focused on getting that great degree and getting, graduating with a great degree in Ireland from a great institution? Because you get that post-study work visa, the 1-year post-study work visa for a bachelor's graduate, the 2-year post-study work visa for a master's graduate, and because because Ireland is such a resilient economy right now, and over the last few years has been doing really, really well, that is a really valuable thing to be graduating into an economy with that post-study work visa. Okay, look, I think I'm going to stop there. There's a few specific questions, but that I wasn't able to come to individually. But maybe Pragya, I can hand over to you to pick up the individual questions, and I can drop off the line here and say thank you to everybody for joining in and listening.
Yeah, I would like to request Jacob to your final words, and yeah, you can take your time. I would like to request you to have your final words to Nepalese students.
Yeah, my final words would be these. Ireland is open right now. You can apply for to come and study in Ireland. You can apply for a visa, and you can come to Ireland in the autumn. So Ireland is really welcoming international students, and this is important. These are uncertain times for everybody around the world. I know there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear around the world. for students that are making the decision to come and travel abroad now, I think choosing Ireland is a really good choice for you. You can come to Ireland this fall. You'll be studying in a hybrid or a blended form of learning in Ireland, with your lectures online. But the Irish economy is starting to open up. And things are looking positive here. For those students that make the brave decision to travel halfway around the world and come and study in Ireland, you will be graduating in a year's time if you come directly into a master's, or in 2 or 3 or 4 years' time, depending on the program that you choose. You will be graduating into an economy that a lot of people are looking at right now and thinking will be really resilient in this post-COVID world that we're all entering. Those technology firms, those med tech companies, those medical device companies, the biopharmaceutical sector in Ireland is looking like it will be resilient and will still need people graduating from Irish universities to come to work into it. You get that post-study work visa when you graduate in Ireland. So there's, for those of you that are at home in uncertain times, thinking about making the brave decision to come to Ireland, I think it's a really good step for you. Yeah, look, those are my final words. Look, I'm really happy to do another session like this if it would be valuable. Pragya is based there in Nepal and can help out as well. Yeah, if there's anything that I can do, any specific questions to answer again, be really happy to jump on the line and do another call like this. So Sham, thank you very much. Pragya, thanks for taking over from me now. And everybody, good luck and looking forward to seeing you in Ireland.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Stay safe. And thank you so much for your time today. Pragya ma'am, I think Jacob addressed those questions, and I can go now with the specific questions which we can discuss. What are the finance? There is one question. What are the financial requirements for the visa of Ireland, which we already addressed? What is the PR process after completion of study? I think the students can work up to 5 years after the study, and they can apply for that. Would you like to add something about this?
Yeah. So after you graduate, like if you graduate from bachelor's, you get 1 year PSW, post-study work, and if you graduate from master's, you get 2 years post-study work. So after you complete your post-study work, you can actually it's very easy to find job. As Jacob said, we have full employment. 4.4% unemployment is full employment as per economists. So if you want job, there is job available in Ireland. So especially for graduate students from really highly ranked universities, jobs are always available. So you can easily get a job in Ireland after you do your post-study work. And the company who is going to give you the job will sponsor you for 5 years. You're allowed to work for 5 years there. So after doing your 5 years, then you are legally allowed to apply for your PR. And I think you can, after you have invested so much of your time and your expertise in that field, it is very easy to get a PR after 5 years, because as Jacob mentioned, we have a shortage of skill at the moment in Ireland. There are a lot of big IT companies, not only IT, big technical companies, pharmaceutical companies, all these big companies, they have their head office of Europe in Ireland, in Dublin especially. And the population of Ireland is not much. It's a very small country with a very small population. So they are at the moment high demand but low supply. So definitely I would highly recommend students to go there, study, and after you graduate, it's very easy to get a job, and your minimum average is also, if you graduate from bachelor's, is 29,600, so almost 30,000 euros per annum, and for master's it's 40,000, but that's the average. So obviously you can get slightly higher and lower, but that's the average range. So I think it is very easy. People do not know about it as much. They don't think that Ireland is a friendly country, or it's very difficult to go and study. But it's just the opposite at the moment. Ireland is open and they are welcoming all the international students. They want international students to come to the country, study there, and be able to fill those vacancies in job market which is available in Ireland.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Next question we have. Hello, sir. Could you please mention the post-study work visa system in Ireland? We already answered this question. 1 year from bachelor degree and 2 years from master degree. Am I right?
True, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. Next question: can we apply with the dependent in Ireland or not? Ma'am, would you like to add something about the dependent process?
Yeah, unfortunately, we do not have dependent visa for Ireland. If you want your spouse to come with you, then I would suggest maybe they also choose another course, a subject, or some just a something that they want to study. And once you go there, then you can change your visa status. But from here, there's no dependent visa for Ireland.
Thank you. Uh, does the university provides placement options? I think talking about internship.
Definitely, all these become a big university. They have a big networking with big companies and all. And as per your field of program, they will you will have 3 to 6 months of your internship programs.
There is one more question on each Koirala. Also, how long does it take to receive the package offer letter in DCU after submitted? So, asking about the general processing time for the offer letter.
For DCU, direct entry is very difficult because they only accept either IB or A levels entries, and that also their requirement is very high. So if you want to go to DCU, especially for Nepalese, I think the only good option is through the foundation program. And getting entry into foundation program is not difficult. You just need like 50% or more, and you are eligible to go into foundation program. And for foundation program, the offer letter is the offer letter comes about a week or 2 weeks time. But if it has to come from directly from DCU, it will take a bit longer because DCU, maybe because it's a very highly ranked university, or so they will take a longer time to go through your applications and see if they have the seats available in the program that you've applied. So if you're applying directly, like for example for master's programs, if you want to apply directly, also it will take a slightly longer. But if you're applying through the international foundation program, then it will be about 1 to 2 weeks time. I hope I answered that
Hi,
question.
Pragya ma'am.
Yeah.
The next question.
Mhm.
Are there advantages to study foundation program progressing to university degrees?
Their advantage to, yes, I think Jacob also mentioned that earlier. He addressed this question. So the main advantage that I would say is if you go through foundation program, then there's like 100% guarantee that you will go into the bachelor's program, which otherwise was nearly impossible because for Nepalese student, for masters you need to have 80%. Getting a master's from 80% from TU is like, it's very difficult. It's next to very, very difficult. So the only way that we can go through these big universities is through foundation program. If you go through foundation program, one, it will give you like 100% guarantee that you will go into the bachelor's or master's, having but there's a condition that you have to pass the foundation program, of course, which for now we have till now we have 100% pass rate from our foundation program. And number two, with the foundation program, those students who are going into the main bachelor's or masters, they're doing really well than those students who have come directly. Like even those students who have like received like 80% or more in their masters, or did very well in they studied IB or A levels and did very well. Even comparing with those students, the student going through this international foundation program are doing better and scoring much higher than average. So there are two basic advantages of going through the foundation program.
Ravi, I think your mic is mute.
Is it?
So, is PTE is acceptable in Ireland or not?
Can you hear me, Ravi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think Sham cannot hear me, but
Yeah, I can hear it.
oh, you
PT is
can hear me.
accepted
Okay.
in Ireland and not.
PTE, as of now, we're doing IELTS and TOEFL, and for now, we are accepting Duolingo. But PT, we have not accepted till now. But maybe in future we might accept it. But for now, it's IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo.
Okay. We have one more questions about the scholarship, and also we have one more questions about the English course. If you can package with the main course, if any students are unable to meet the English requirements. So Birendra is asking about the scholarship that we offer, and Prajita is asking about the English course if we don't meet the English requirements. So could you please address these questions?
Yeah. So scholarship. So we have 4 universities, and time and again, we have scholarships coming and going. We do not have a set of scholarship that is applied to all the universities. For IT Sligo, we have sometimes 1,500 scholarship depending on what course you're doing, 1,000 to 1,500 scholarship. And please keep in mind that it's a very reasonable. The cost is very reasonable. Anyways, it starts from 9,000 euros, which is, if you compare with other destinations with that high rank, it's very very reasonable amount. So even on top of 9,000, you get 15,000. Sorry, 1,500 scholarship. But that's for IT Sligo, and it is not always that. Sometimes in fall they give it. For spring they might have something else, and again for fall they might have something else. So this is a promotional scholarship which changes time and again. So to know exactly what scholarship is happening now, you have to let us know which semester you're interested to go in, and we will do it accordingly. For now, like this you, we have for those students who are interested to go into um, international foundation program. We have 1,000 scholarship again, but that's again we have a deadline for it. So the deadline is till 17th of July. So we do not have much time left for that. But that's a promotional scholarship, which time and again it comes and goes. So we have scholarships like that, but otherwise we do not have big scholarship because our fees are very reasonable. For DCU, it's only like 12,000. Average is 12,000 euros per year, which is comparatively very reasonable. So that is why we do not have big scholarships.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, do we accept any LE course? I mean English course if a student is unable to meet direct English requirements?
Yes, if you do not have, we do accept English course, but I would not encourage English with packaged with bachelors as of now for Ireland, because the visa scenario would not be very in the favor. If with English, I would not suggest that.
Okay, but I think we can suggest her to go with the foundation program if she is unable to meet the.
Foundation is 5.5, so I'm sure you'll be able to do that. Yeah.
Yep. What is the IELTS requirements for master's degree MBA and about dependent visa? I think 6.5, not less than 6,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
And
and
dependent, we already answered these questions as there is no dependent provision at the moment. The next question, Neeraj Gimire is asking, I want to study Masters in Computer Science. Would you make me clarify the fee structure and PTE and GPA score requirements for your university? So asking about the computer science, Masters in Computer Science.
university is the student asking for computer science?
I haven't mentioned the university, but yeah, we can answer in general requirements.
Okay, in general, because each university, like for general, I would say fee structure. See, DCU, as I said, it starts from 12,000. Then TU Dublin, we have about 10,000 average, and then we have Maynooth. Maynooth is again about 10,000 average of 10,000, and then IT Sligo we have about 9,000. So we have this range from 9 to 12,000. depending on which university you're going to. Obviously, computer science, even in TUD, it's very good because it's a technology university. It's the first technological university in Ireland. So TUD is also very good if you want to study computer science. And obviously, DCU, it's not to mention, it's top 1.5% in the world. So DCU is one of the elite university in Ireland, so you can choose to go there as well. But as Jacob mentioned earlier, these computer science, these popular subjects, the seats really fill up quickly. So if you want to apply, you have to really apply early. So the fee structure, as I said, is somewhere from 12,000 to 9,000. A PT, I think we would not accept PT. Please consider IELTS or TOEFL, or you for now you can do Duolingo as well. We accept that. And GPA score requirement for your university. Again, for masters, it's 80% or higher. So it's very difficult to go directly into masters. So you have to go through the foundation program, 1 year foundation program, or a 6 month foundation program, depending on how much you have scored in your IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, or your percentage or your GPA in your bachelor's. So it all depends. But directly going into DCU, if you want to go into TUD Dublin. So I need to know what your GPA score is. So we do accept more than 3.5. So I think if you have more than 3.5 for TUD, that's fine. But if you want to go into DCU, then you have to go through foundation program.
Okay. There is another question again from Subhas. He's asking about the dependent visa. We already answered this question as there is no dependent. Is there any facility for dependent visa? No. And work time during the students? Ma'am, would you like to add anything about the working rights for students?
Working right, 20 hours per week. I would also like to add that you are allowed to work, as all of you know, 20 hours per week. But in like off time, you're allowed to work 40 hours. Again, this is like in general, all the institution, all the destination, they do the same thing. But one very unique thing about Ireland is we have, in general, it's 3 months of full-time work. But in Ireland, you have 4 months. 3 months during Christmas and 1 month during summer. So you have 4 months you're allowed to work 40 hours per week. And then remaining months, you're allowed to work 20 hours per week.
Okay. We have covered almost all the comments which we received in the comment box. We are now nearly to the end of our session. At last, I would like to request Pragya ma'am for your final words to the students. They are planning to study in Ireland at this moment from Nepal.
Yeah, so I would highly recommend Ireland as a very good alternative to other destinations, especially in current scenario, because Ireland has shown a great deal of support for international student in this situation. Like for those of you who do not know, during this crisis, the government of Ireland was paying 350 euros per week for minimum of 12 weeks to even international students. So they were showing this support right from the beginning, from early March. So students were very happy by the way the government, supported them. So they did not feel like they were left alone, or they were just kept aside and only the citizens or PRs were treated well. Even these international students were treated equally. Obviously the health service during this time was free. They could do check their they could do their test for free, and all other things were free. So I would highly recommend you to definitely consider Ireland. Not only for this, it's the universities are highly ranked. Cost is in a fraction of cost. If you compare the same level of ranking, if you go into other universities in US or Australia, and if you come to Ireland, the cost difference, you will see the difference, the fraction of amount. So that is there. And the job employability, after you graduate, very high, very high chance. It's like full employment we have in Ireland. So you have a very high chance that you will have a very bright future and a very good job in your hand after you graduate. So three things: um, highly ranked, a very low cost, and job a very high employability process. So Ireland is the destination that I think you should all consider from now on. That's all from my side, Shem. Thank you very
Okay.
much. And really,
Thank you so much, ma'am. Also, there is one question, but it is, I think it is not for Ireland.
oh,
Uh,
okay.
just a second. I want to study Master of Environmental Science. Can you tell me about the fee, GPA score, IELTS score, dependent visa for Australia or Canada? Okay. This woman, you have mentioned about Australia or Canada. Today we have a session for a study in Ireland. Yeah, definitely. If you are interested to study in Australia and Canada, yes, you can apply. Even you can apply with dependents. So you can contact any of our office for the counseling about Australia and Canada. You can contact with our team. Our team will support you for your process to apply for Australia or Canada. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sham and Ravi, for this opportunity to get direct interaction with the student. And I hope they got new information about Ireland, and they would consider Ireland as a new destination for their education.
Sure. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Ravi Dal and our IT team for your support today. Thank you so much to all of you for listening and watching us. If you have any further questions, you can always contact the IC Nepal. You can also collect very useful information from our website, which is www.kiec.edu.np. Also, you can get all the updated information from our Facebook page. Stay safe, all. Have a good day, and bye bye.
Yes, bye everyone, and thank you for coming.
Bye.
When I was young, I was dreaming I can study abroad.
And I've always wanted to come to America. You see the movies, you see the college lifestyle.
What better way to, see a country than to actually get to live here for 6 months?
The experiences have just been incredible, and it's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
I wanted to do study abroad for almost like a holiday, but you still get to do your subjects.
I want to go speak the language. I want to expand my language skills because there's nothing like being in the country and speaking it. I'm hoping to be accepted into veterinary science. I think doing an exchange really gives me an edge on other people who are applying.
Employers love it. If you've studied internationally, it looks great.
Coming over to study is a little bit more nerve-wracking, but once you realise that everyone's in the same boat as you, it's really not as scary as you think, and it's definitely worth it in the end.
With most degrees at Adelaide, it's really quite easy if you had to do a study abroad semester because you don't have to seriously match up your courses or wait a semester.
The process is easy, and the guys at the exchange obviously look after you. In terms of saving money, the government's pretty good.
Jordan and I were able to get 2 OS help loans for 2 semesters, and then we were lucky enough to get a scholarship.
It's so easy to jump on a bus and go to a different country. We've been to Wales.
Stopped off at Las Vegas for a night.
A big group of us went to a house in the mountains. I've been to London. The independence you gain from doing an exchange, you can't really get it any other way.
I've become a lot more culturally aware of what's going on in the world. The people that I've met over here, I'll stay in contact with my entire life.
It made me realise that there's just so much more opportunity in the world.
If you are an undergraduate or if you're going into university right now, the #1 thing that you should think about is going on exchange.